Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Videos. This week we're going to be looking at last week's comics this week. Picked up some great books. We're going to be starting and finishing with Amazing Spider-Man, the current book, as well as a wonderful holiday special. Stick around to the end of the video for that. I picked up that book. It really got me in the feels. I think that's what the kids say nowadays. Plus, we might have a little Doctor Doom action, and the Merc with a Mouth might be teaming up with the Dark Knight Detective. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to there, but with no further ado, let's get right into it. One thing though, studies show that successful people subscribe to their favorite comic book and movie channels. And that would be, hopefully for you, Heroes and Videos. Would love for you to hit the notifications so you get notified when we have additional content. But let's get right into it. First up is Amazing Spider-Man 16. This is Legacy 980 as we barrel ahead towards Amazing Spider-Man 1000. This book is splitting its storyline between Earthbound stories with the Spider-Man featured on the cover here, as well as Spacebound stories with our favorite friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Pete's in space, dealing with just an amazing storyline there. I'll try not to overuse that adjective. This is the Earthbound Spider-Man, and it's spoilers, it's not Pete. You've probably noticed that those anklets and web shooters on his wrist there, and it looks like he's being throttled with a stethoscope here. There's some really great stuff in this book. This is the newest volume, started with number 1. We're 16 issues in. The last half a dozen issues, like I say, have been bi-weekly, splitting the storyline between Earth and space. This is the Earthbound half of that. What I've really loved about this current version, or this current volume, is some of the stuff with Tombstone. And Tombstone's in this book as well. Tombstone and Spider-Man have built kind of an uneasy alliance. And there's a great scene in this, and spoilers, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to know anything about this book. There's a great scene that mirrors the Superior Spider-Man book when Norman Osborn first realizes that Pete is back as Spider-Man, because he'd been dealing with the Dr. Octopus Superior Spider-Man version of the character. And there's a scene where there's just this great scene. It's been memed out there all over the place, where Norman realizes that that it's Pete that's inhabiting the Spider-Man suit and not Dr. Octopus, and so he's thoroughly scared. There's a bit of a mirror to that sequence in here, where Tombstone realizes it's not Pete. Tombstone realizes it's not Pete in the suit. And it's really neat. I've been really impressed with the dynamic between Pete, Spider-Man, and Tombstone. And in this story, the Spider-Man that's on Earth there's just some great character development in this. Norman Osborn in the comics, if you've been reading Amazing Spider-Man the last few years, Norman is good. Norman has kind of been absolved of his sins, if you will. He's not supposedly evil anymore, and there's just been some great character development for him, and this continues that. So definitely pick up Amazing Spider-Man if you're not reading it already, and if you are, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. And honestly, even if you're not reading it, I certainly would love to hear what you think in the comments. That sounded pretty bad. Next up is Ultimates number 18. Ultimates also, speaking about barreling towards the conclusion, the Ultimate Universe is barreling towards the conclusion. You see here the maker on this cover. That's Tony Stark, Iron Lad, there in the foreground. This book has been more worldly. I mean, each issue is pretty much a standalone, but connected to the rest of the series, and it seems like things are getting ready to wrap up there pretty quickly. But great read, very very big picture in terms of what's going on in the Ultimate Universe. Next up, speaking of universes, we're over in DC Universe for this issue. This is World's Finest 45. I have no idea if DC is doing a legacy thing or what this would be, but as you can see there, this is a team up between Lex Luthor and the Joker. These Mark Waid books are just phenomenal. Yes, Waid is still doing the book. It's just good old school DC, and it's that whole World's Finest line that's been kind of coming out with DC. It's sort of a throwback that this takes place back when Robin was Dick Grayson, and it's just cool. It's this cool Silver Age kind of goodness to it that is just really, really neat. So pick up World's Finest if you're not doing so already. I mentioned Doctor Doom. Eagle-eyed fans out there of the channel might have noticed that Doom is making an appearance back here on the pop shelf. The One World Under Doom miniseries that's been going on, one of the better Marvel events, I think, in many, many years. There haven't been a ton of, maybe there have been a ton of tie-ins. You haven't had to read them all, but it really has affected the Marvel Universe in that Doctor Doom has taken over the Marvel Universe, and people are willingly being subservient to him, whether that's world leaders or just the population in general. There's some analogies that can be drawn there between what's going on in the world today in terms of a leader with I don't even want to use the word charisma, but and I don't want this to get political, but yeah, there's some parallels that could be drawn between liberty versus security, and taking away your rights, or you have people willing to give up that for security and for that sort of thing. So the One World Under Doom storyline has been emphasizing that. It's also obviously, as most comics do, it's oversimplified it in a lot of ways, but some of the issues leading up to this conclusion have been really, really good, thought-provoking in terms of not making it just cut and dried. There was a great issue with an intellectual debate with Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. There was a great battle issue between the two of those characters, all of which led up to here the final issue. I'm going to try to veer away from spoilers in that the last issue just came out. It's a 9-issue limited series. I know there are a lot of people, as you get close to the end, people want to just wait for the trade, so I'll try not to spoil anything. Did get a little carried away with the variant covers. The first one here is based on Avengers, I want to say 156. It is, I think it's Steve Rude. Yes, it is a Steve Rude cover, and it's basically homage to that Avengers 156 cover. Though I have to admit, the coolest thing I thought about that old cover was the Vision coming out of the wall there, and he's not wearing his cape for a good part of this series. This was when Avengers was crossing over with supervillain team up, but this was that homage cover. I decided to get that, have to show it alongside the original Avengers book. At one point, this cover was just beautiful. I had to pick it up. It's somewhat related to the story content. You see this character falling through the water there, and it's more symbolic than anything, I guess, in terms of what's actually going on in the book, but that was just such a hauntingly beautiful cover. Had to pick it up. Speaking of hauntingly beautiful covers, here is the actual cover for the book, and just look at that. Doctor Doom, as he's Sorcerer Supreme. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's part of the hook for the whole series. You can see there's there are various skulls, Giant Man in the background, Thanos. Looks like that's the Scarlet Witch here in the foreground. Spider-Man back here as well, Captain America's shield. But Doom, for having won everything, looks like he may have lost everything as well. And so it's a pretty simple ending. I didn't really see it coming, but it's one of the better things they've done with this character in many years. I think it's one of Marvel's best events in years. If you haven't read One World Under Doom, get back, go pick it up, find it. It's really good. Wait, if you're at this point, you have to wait for the trade. Get the trade. This book's really good, and it sets up the next phase, if you will. I don't want to use phase because we got to do some MCU stuff on the channel at some point, but it sets up the next era, if you will, in the Marvel Universe. And the art's just amazing through the whole series. It's just a really good book. So you should read One World Under Doom. You don't want Vic back here coming looking for you. I don't have this next one in a bag and board yet, mainly because I wanted to show you the beautiful double cover, but it's Batman, Deadpool, and if Deadpool's on the cover, on the front, as you can guess, Batman's on the back. And I believe this is Dan Mora doing this variant cover. He's just he's just crushing it with the was doing World's Finest when it started, Justice League Unlimited. Just a huge fan of his stuff on DC. I think this is the DC half of this Deadpool, Batman Deadpool crossover. And this one's written by Grant Morrison. And it starts, got a little spoiler territory here, it starts with some real Grant Morrison weirdness in terms of Eternity. And what is DC's Eternity type character? What is her name? I don't know. DC fans, help me out. I know Eternity. I don't know the other, but as you can tell there, they or as you can see towards the bottom of the page, only Grant Morrison could come up with the omnipotent characters from Marvel and DC, having a bit of a tryst there. Is that what I can say? You kids can look that up. That we'll keep it family friendly. The other thing that's interesting, and I don't think this is much of a spoiler for a Grant Morrison book, he shows up in the book, but it's a really good, fun read. Don't read comics when you're sleepy. That was one of those that at first didn't get my attention. I fell asleep trying to read that book a couple times, or got too tired and had to put it down, and wasn't really enjoying it that much. And I think it's just because I was trying to read it late or with very little sleep. Once I read it awake, that's not a resounding recommendation, but reading the book fully aware, it was really good. It's enjoyable. I really liked it. The other half of that, the Marvel half, the Capullo half of that team up was much more broadly funny in terms of its humor. This one's more intellectual in terms of its humor. That may not be the right way to say that. But it's a great book. You should pick it up. And of course, there are additional team ups in the back of it. You've got Constantine and Doctor Strange. Oh, I almost forgot. You've got Harley Quinn and the Hulk, Static and Ms. Marvel. And honestly, one that I really enjoyed and didn't expect to is Nightwing and Laura Kinney's Wolverine. In addition to all the little in-jokes about Nightwing, being such a ladies' man, not a ladies' man as much as the, what is it the kids say, daddy? I don't know. The fact that the ladies seem to love, it's kind of like Matt Murdock. The ladies seem to love Dick Grayson. They play into that, but there's some surprising things where Laura Kinney's character is pretty much in awe of Dick Grayson in a few parts, so which I know we all should be. It's my favorite DC character as well. So yes, pick up Deadpool Batman. It is well worth your dime, or many dimes, I guess it is nowadays, right? And last up is a holiday spectacular I did not know I needed. Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular. I thought it was a bunch of little one-shots in there, like mini stories within the book. It is, but they all do fit together. And again, as with Spider-Man, Peter Parker as my favorite Marvel character, this book shows why he's kind of everybody's favorite character, and it's great. It walks you through. He spends time with Fantastic Four, with the Avengers, with Daredevil, with the X-Men. And what's really cool about this special is it gets to the heart of the holiday, not necessarily the reason for the season, but it gives you the feels. It's about friendship and family and spending time with people, and the other cool thing is it's very current in terms of what's going on in the comics. Like the time he's spending with the X-Men is in New Orleans, where the Uncanny X-Men book is taking place currently. So and Daredevil, there's a little Daredevil, there's a little bit of a religious tint to the Daredevil story. It's just really great, and it's just more evidence of how, as you read it, that Spider-Man really is one of those characters that pulls the Marvel Universe together. Marvel, please give us a Marvel team up book again, because that was some of the secret sauce. Ben Grimm and Spider-Man are two of those heroes that just the way they interact with other characters is just amazing. So, Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular. I'm hoping shops ordered enough of these to have through the holidays, because it really is a good fun read. Some of it hits better than, some parts hit better than others. I'm looking at you, Tony Stark. But most of it, the Daredevil stuff's great, the FF stuff is great, and the X-Men stuff was great. I just really, really enjoyed this book. It was a nice little surprise, like a little surprise gift in your stocking. So how appropriate is that we will end today's Heroes and Videos on a bit of a Christmas miracle. So hey, hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're getting ready to gear up for the holidays. Thanksgiving is this week. Hope everybody takes time every day. Frankly, it's a gratitude thing. Take a little time every day, every morning and every night. Take a few minutes, even a few moments, to just consider the things you have to be thankful for and to be grateful for. We all have so many blessings, even with the worst things that could be going on in folks' lives. We can find things to be thankful for. So I am thankful for family and friends and all of you all here at Heroes and Videos. So thanks again. Enjoy Thanksgiving holiday. We will talk to you soon. In the meantime, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters. Oh, by the way, Glass Onion's got a new movie out in theaters only here for a couple of weeks, starting any day now, depending on when you're watching this video. So I know Daniel Craig, I don't think is in a Marvel movie. Hawkeye's in this one, so Jeremy Renner's in it, and Thanos. So Josh Brolin. So there's your MCU connection with the new the new Knives Out film by Rian Johnston. It's what's it called? Wake Up Dead Man or something like that. Oh, Glenn Close is in it too. Another Marvel Cinematic Universe connection. So again, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters, and be kind to each other.